I want to start today's video out by giving all thanks and glory to my Lord Jesus Christ. I hope every one of you had a great Easter. I hope every one of you took some time today or take some time this evening and thanks God and Jesus Christ for everything you have right now. If you ate today, you have family, you have friends, you're living, you're breathing. I hope you gave all thanks to God for everything you have. And I hope that you're praying for direction. I hope you're praying for safety. I hope that you're praying for this country because we need a miracle. Without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to do an unboxing in this video later in this video. This has not been opened. In fact, I'm just going to open this up right now. And we'll get into this in a minute and why this is so important. Of course, you know that this is definitely another order from SD Bullion. I just got this yesterday. And I'll show you what's in it in just a little bit. And why you need to be ordering, stockpiling, buying these assets. But first off, I want to start with an article that I was reading this morning from calmatters.com. Evictions rise, tenants scramble for help as LA County protections expire. California statewide tenant relief and protection no longer protects people since April 1st. Now, since April 1st, landlords in LA County are now able to evict tenants. Listen to this. Now, we're told that everything's good, that the consumer's strong, that the real estate market's doing wonderful. Across California, nearly 600,000 people owe a total of $2.1 billion in back rent. In Los Angeles City and County, nearly 200,000 people owe more than $500 million in unpaid rent. This is just an absolutely staggering number. And think about people who have been able to put their student loan debt in forbearance, auto loan in forbearance, their rent in forbearance. Without all these forbearances, and most of this not even being reported in the true economic numbers, but this country, this economy is much worse than you think it is. Over 80% of landlords in California are small independent landlords. They're the mom and pop landlords. If they don't get paid, they can't pay their own mortgages. They can't pay the mortgage on that rental property. These people are going to be absolutely obliterated. Many of them already have been. And the minute a lot of these landlords, if they're still in existence, once they get these tenants out, most of them more than likely are going to put these properties on the market and just get out of the landlord business, especially here in California. Here's one from CNBC, the coming commercial real estate crash. Almost a quarter of office building loans need to be refinanced in the next year, and they will be refinanced at higher rates. This is going to be a big problem. Here's another one on the hedge today. Multi-tenant apartment building sales dropped 74%. This is the most since the financial crisis of 2008. We're going to see, no doubt, more turmoil and more crisis in the banking industry. And this is going to add fuel to the fire, ladies and gentlemen. The peak in sales, in multi-tenant apartment building sales, back in 2021, was flourishing. Those days are long gone. The investor that bought those buildings in recent years with short-term floating rate debt are about to feel very, very serious pain because of rising interest rates. The loans now cost a lot more to pay down than when the investors first borrowed the money. It says in the article here, the remaining balance of many floating rate loans will come due this year. And borrowers whose buildings aren't bringing in enough cash every month might have to sell their buildings to pay off their debts. And the startling thing here will be, what are the real valuations of those buildings now? It's not what they bought those buildings for a couple years ago, that's for sure. Green Sheet, which tracks publicly traded landlords, found a 20% drop in building values from their late 2021 highs. A 20% drop. That's huge. Building sales are not going to pick up anytime soon because a backlog of nearly 500,000 units is about to hit the market. And these units will be delivered this year. So the shortage that we always hear about in inventory, whether it's, apartments or homes, all this is coming. All the new home construction is going to be hitting the market. All of these new rental units going to be delivered, almost 500,000 more just by the end of this year. So here we go. Here comes the inventory, ladies and gentlemen. And the problem here is most people, they look at the real estate market and they look at the health of the market based on inventory. No, the health of the real estate market, the growth of real estate is based on jobs and income. And guess what? Real wages are going down. People are losing their jobs. We're losing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of jobs every week, and it's going to continue to get worse. This is just the beginning, and this is going to be what really damages and what causes a major crash in real estate. It's going to be not inventory, it's going to be jobs. Bloomberg, $1.5 trillion wall of debt is looming for U.S. commercial properties. This debt in commercial real estate comes due for repayment before the end of 2025. This is office buildings, stores, warehouses, etc. Property valuations, they say right here in Bloomberg, could fall 40% from their peak. And this is going to rise the risk of major defaults here in commercial real estate. We're going to see people default on their homes. We're going to see borrowers default on commercial real estate loans. This is going to be an absolute historic time in the U.S. economy, without a doubt. We are going to see huge fireworks in the next 24 months here in the U.S. In real estate, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yahoo Finance, U.S. bank lending slumps by most on record in final weeks of March. This is also going to have a huge impact. And when banks aren't lending money, that means people aren't opening businesses, builders aren't building new homes, people aren't buying homes, people aren't buying cars, people aren't using the credit cards as much. This is going to be an absolutely catastrophic time for the U.S. economy. This is no doubt a perfect storm where you're seeing a banking crisis, a commercial real estate crisis, a bond crisis, an everyday crisis with the average household in America just trying to make ends meet, just trying to pay the bills, living day to day. People are going to, at some point, have a very, very difficult time just putting gas in their cars. That's coming to America. We're going to see more people lose the cars, lose the houses, become homeless. And I hate to report this bad news on this beautiful Easter afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to make sure every one of you is prepared. We all need to be preparing even more than we are right now. Macron says Europe should reduce dependence on US dollar, seek strategic autonomy. This on The Hedge today. French President Macron spent 6 hours over the past few days with Chinese President Xi Jinping. France wants absolutely nothing to do with this World War III we're trying to start. Macron said that there is a great risk facing Europe right now, and that is that it gets caught up in the crisis that it does not own. They know that the West is in decline. They know America is in decline, and this being France and most of Europe and most of the world at this point. That's why much of the world now is getting rid of dollars and going to continue to get rid of dollars. But France and the world is now realizing that the West is in decline and China is rising. And I believe people are going to be very, very shocked. The economists, the people on the television, the analysts, the cheerleaders, people are going to be very, very shocked to see how fast the world drops US dollars and runs to a new currency, more than likely coming from China. more than likely backed partially by gold. We believe that, we have friends in the world, but our friends have now witnessed the weaponization of the US dollar. Our friends realize the danger that if they don't play ball with us, that we will weaponize those dollars and they won't be able to pay their bills. They won't be able to buy oil. They will have massive sanctions. And so the world realizes that it needs to get out of the dollar and it needs to get into something backed by gold, something that's going to be more friendly, something that's not going to be as manipulated or weaponized. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And many people are going to be shocked how fast our friends turn their back on us and run to something else. Fox Business, this is what happens when the government floods the economy with easy money. This is what happens. This is what happens when you have interest rates near zero for over a decade, keeping them too low for too long, when you have a Fed buying mortgage-backed securities, when you print and inject $7 trillion and inject that money into people's bank accounts, into the economy over 30 months. This is what happens. This is what happens when you bail banks out. This is what happens when you bail out markets. This is what happens. And now what's going to happen is we're going to see more unemployment. We're going to see real wages continue to decrease. We're going to see less job opportunity. We're going to see more inflation. We're going to see more people losing their jobs and struggling day to day just to pay their bills. And we're going to begin to see prices of a lot of things absolutely decelerate because people and businesses, banks are going to have to unload things such as commercial real estate. People are going to have to sell their homes because they're not going to be able to afford to keep them. Why? Because they're going to lose their jobs. Or inflation is eating them up so bad, eating up their retirements, that they're going to have to raise capital just to survive, and they're going to be forced to sell things, cars, RVs, boats, and real estate. This is all happening, beginning to happen right now. And I can tell you from my standpoint, where I'm looking to buy, every day I'm inundated with new properties, and every day I get more and more price reductions. They can tell me till they're blue in the face on the television that the real estate market's just fine, that the buyers are going to be coming back very, very soon, that 6.5% 30-year rates don't matter, the consumer's strong, the economy's bouncing back. They can tell me this till they're blue in the face. We know the truth. And my strategy right now is to raise as much capital as possible, buy as much gold and silver as possible, and exercise patience, because the deals in cars, RVs, boats, land, commercial real estate, housing, it's all coming, without a doubt. It's all coming. And the worse this gets, as the government becomes even more dysfunctional, as the Fed becomes even more dysfunctional, what are investors, what are institutions going to do? They're going to run to real things, just like this right here. These are the things that I'm doing. This may not be for you, but this is what my friends are doing, what my family is doing. This is what I keep acquiring, because as we continue to see more dysfunction in the system, in the government, this is security. This is insurance right here. This is real money. You go anywhere in the world, this is the most liquid asset, or at least one of the most liquid assets on planet Earth. You can go and exchange this for any paper currency in the world. Somebody will give you paper for this. But there may come a time right here in the US where you don't want to exchange this for a paper fiat currency. Maybe you will only exchange it for another asset. Maybe at some point, enough of these will buy a house, a boat, a car, a couple acres of land. Who knows where it's all going? But I know this. My gut feeling tells me that this is going to go up a lot more as the dollar goes down a lot more. Now, yes, I am accumulating dollars because I need those dollars to buy property. But if I begin to see real big problems in the dollar, guess what? I'll be making a very, very big order with SD Bullion in order to get out of the dollar and to get into this. Now, I'm being as diversified as possible, gold, silver, and cash, and I'm using that cash for a small ranch in the South. So that's what I'm doing. Not everybody can do that. I realize that. If you can't afford gold, go get yourself some silver. It's still extremely cheap. You know, maybe if you cut out a couple of the lattes, maybe cut out a couple tattoos, you can go get some silver. Cut something out. Make a sacrifice. I mean, this was my order. This was my last order right here, okay? This was roughly around a little over $6,000, okay? I could do a lot. I could have a lot of fun with $6,000 right now. I could go to a lot of places. I could do a lot of things. I could buy a toy. I could do a lot with $6,000. But I'm very, very concerned with where all this is going. As I've said in the past, this doesn't do tricks. It doesn't cook me breakfast. It doesn't play games. It doesn't do anything except protect my wealth. So this will go into another private location, to another private vault that I have, and it will be very, very safe. And I hope I never have to use it. I don't think about it. If this goes down $200 tomorrow, I don't care. I don't care if it goes down $500 tomorrow. I can access it very, very quickly. And when things get really, really bad, and when the dollar continues to compete under more pressure of other currencies, this is only going to go up. And all you have to do is ask yourself this: why are all the central banks stockpiling this stuff? Why have they suppressed the price of gold for so long while they continue to stockpile it? They've slammed prices on purpose so they can back up the truck and load up on this stuff. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just taking a page out of their book. I'm doing exactly what the central banks are doing. Now remember, if we go back roughly 100 years ago and we wanted to go buy a suit, a beautiful tailored suit would cost you about $20 100 years ago. Roughly 100 years ago, this would cost you $20. We fast forward to today. You want to buy a nice suit? Well, a really nice suit's going to cost you roughly $2,000. If you use that $20 bill that you used 20 years ago, it wouldn't even buy you the buttons on the suit. This right now, I can go exchange for $2,000 and go buy a suit today. So it's doing what it's supposed to do, and that is to keep up with inflation. The dollar is dead. The dollar is on borrowed time, and I cannot wait to get rid of my dollars. And what am I going to do? I'm going to buy an asset with land, live on it, and hopefully I don't wait too long. And because we don't know how much more time the dollar has. Hopefully it's got some more time. But is it 6 months, 6 years, 60 years? I don't think it's 60 years away. I don't think it's 6 years away. I think we're going to see big trouble for the US dollar within the next 24 months. It could be sooner. But I think within 24 months, we're going to see real serious competition for the US dollar. And that means that a lot of dollars are coming back to the US. That means we're going to see a lot of inflation. If you think inflation's bad right now, wait till you see the world sending their dollars back, what it's going to cost. You are going to see a vast majority of America turn into a third world country. It's already begun. Take a look at your cities. It's already happening. I can tell you areas out here look third world. LA is third world. It's already happening. You begin to send dollars back, it is going to accelerate so fast it will make your head spin. You will see a majority of America turn into a third world country very, very quickly. So what should you have in a third world? What protects you in a third world? What gives you massive purchasing power in a third world? This does, right here. This is what protects you in a third world. This is what feeds you in a third world. This is what allows you to buy land and a house in a third world. It also makes you a target in a third world. So make sure that you have security. I know people will be like, you shouldn't show what you own. And I know that there's people that make videos that will say, well, I don't show anything because I don't want anybody to know what I have. Yet they tell everybody that you should be buying gold and silver and food and all the essentials. Yet they don't want to show you any of this, mostly because they don't own any of this stuff. They just talk the big game. I walk the walk the best that I can, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to leave it there today. It's Easter. and I wanted to make this video, and I just want to make sure everybody out there, don't be one of these wannabes. Don't be one of these people that just talks. Walk the walk, ladies and gentlemen. Put your money where your mouth is. That's what we all need to be doing right now. We are running out of time. Time is not our friend. We're getting very, very close to something happening. And we are getting, these warning signs. When you see multiple banks going down, that is a huge red flag. That is a huge warning sign to all of you to make sure that you're getting your financial house in order, that you're getting physically fit, that you're working on your body, your spirit. Walking close to God is the #1 asset. And of course, right next to that is your security. I consider myself my own central bank, and being your own central bank, you better have your own security, because you could be a target. When people get desperate, when they get hungry, if they think that you have something, they're going to make you a victim. Now, you have a choice to make. Will you be a victim or will you not? Do you have security? Do you have training? Do you have tactics? Do you have the tools? If you don't, you need to be working on that beginning today. You need to get going with that. Too many of these people out there making videos believing that this isn't spiritual, that this is just financial, that there's going to be no violence and chaos, that they never talk about security. They never talk about how you're going to protect yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be an alarm system or a camera or a phone that saves you, okay? If you can get a good dog, if you can get the right tools, the right training, these are the assets you need to be implementing right now. Right now. This is what you need to implement in your life right now. Because trust me, whether you talk about it or not, people know that you're preparing. And it could be your neighbor, could be people from work, could be people from your church, could be other family members. They're going to come to your house for food, and they're not going to leave. And some of them could get very, very violent, because when their kids are starving, now while they went out and put pictures up all over social media, what they were eating on the weekends and their trips to Las Vegas and the car they were leasing and how they were just burning through money, while you were making the sacrifices to buy stuff like this to put in your safes and your vaults, these people were out having a party, having a great time, taking all the free money, not paying rent, buying their cars, not taking care of their obligations. And now when the storm hits, they're coming to you. They're coming to you, and they know who you are. So you have some serious choices to make right now. Are you prepared to deal with these events when they come knocking at your door? Have a great Easter. God bless all of you. Thanks for watching.